Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine painting video. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys and it goes an absolute massive way to help the channel too. Now, with this video I wanted to go through the very delayed painting up of my Primaris captain, the exclusive captain that we've got with issue 5 of Imperium magazine, so good 10 weeks ago. I was a little bit slow getting around to it, and it has been painted for a couple of weeks. I just haven't really had the time to put the footage together until now. But here it is. I really enjoyed painting this guy. He's pretty damn cool and a very nice addition to the Space Marine army as well that we're collecting with Imperium magazine. But without further ado, and without me chattering on too much more, let's have a look at how I'll go painting up a Sons of Medusa Primaris captain. So of course I've started off with Mechanica Standard Grey as a base coat, and I've layered over it with the Army Painter green skin. The green skin paint from Army Painter is a very nice shade of green, as you can see. And I'm not going to lie, it's my preferred shade of green for the minis for the Sons of Medusa army that I'm painting up at the moment, and they look very nice, and they do exactly what I want them to do, which is pretty damn cool. Then I went over with Colia green shade, as you saw, and then I'll go back over it with good old the green skin again from Army Painter to kind of bring it back to life and give it a bit more colour and kind of take away a little bit of that shine that some shades leave behind, like the Colia green shade seems to. Now, I'm just picking out all the main flat areas and the kind of the bigger areas of the mini, and it works very nicely. When the camera focuses, as you can see, I'm painting a bad and black for the recesses in between the armour to kind of give that under armour kind of a different colour, and so they're not just so green or grey or anything like that. And this seems to work very well for in between your Space Marine armour as well. So it does look pretty damn cool, especially when you edge highlight certain raised areas with either Mechanica Standard Grey or even Administratum Grey will do exactly the same job as well. And then it's time for me to paint up the helmet that is clipped to the hip of and the belt area of our captain, and I'm using good old Corax white on this. This will help it fit in with the rest of the Sons of Medusa. And then all I did was I layered over with Apothecary white a little bit later on to kind of give it a bit of shade, and then bring it back with some Corax white over the top of it to kind of bring it back again. And then for the cloth over that tunic on the front, a bit of Wraith Bone does exactly the job that I needed it to do. And also doing this over the purity seals is also a pretty handy trick, and does it very nicely as well. So it does kind of breaks it up all the colour that you've got, all the greens and blacks for Sons of Medusa, and does a nice look as well, gives it a nice kind of clean look. And then I'm painting up the inside of that cloak. So the outside of the cloak has also been painted a bad and black as well, and then going over the inside as carefully as you can, I just painted it with Corax white. So a very nice colour to use, and it does do exactly what you need it to do. The end downside of Corax white is, with it being white, it's a very heavy pigment, so it does separate very easily, so you need to make sure you are mixing the hell out of your pot of Corax white if you're going to use it. Back to the tunic and the purity seals, I used Skeleton Horde contrast paint over them to kind of give it a bit of shade. You could do the same with Seraphim Sepia if you wish to, but I think the Skeleton Horde gives it a nicer look as well. And kind of does exactly what you need it to, but a tiny bit better than Seraphim Sepia does. And then back to the inside of that cloak, I'm going over it with Apothecary white. This looks grey, it is kind of grey, and it does a very nice look though. It gives it a really good look. You could do with this with regular paints if you wish to. If you use things like good old different shades of white, you could mix like Administratum Grey with Corax white if you wish to kind of give it a very light grey kind of look, or use Orphan Grey or something like that as well if you wanted to. Then back to the tabard and the tunic area, I'm using Wraith Bone again. Brings it back to a kind of crisper, cleaner look for the main cloth areas, but I did not do this over the purity seals. I only did it over that tunic to kind of bring that back into a separate colour from the good old purity seals as well. Makes it stand out a bit better, in my opinion. And then it's time to paint up some metallic area. So I'm using Retributor armour for the tip of the scabbard and the top of the scabbard as well for his sword. I also used it on the good old pommel and the crossguard for the sword as well, and a couple of other little areas on the model as well, which you'll be able to pick out with that as well. For things like the belt buckle though, I used Balthasar Gold. Balthasar Gold is very, very different. It's very dark, it looks very coppery, and has a very nice look to it. Back to the cloak though, over the Abaddon Black on the back side of the cloak, I'm using Corvus Black. Now, I'm doing this just on the bulk areas, so I'm not going too far into any recesses with it, and this gives it a very different look. It makes it look a bit more greyish in a way, but when it's dry, it's actually a very subtle change in colour, which is always very, very nice. Back to a bit more metallics, it is time to do good old lead belcher over the main metallic area of the sword, the blade of the sword, and also over parts of the gun that he is holding, and this does a very, very nice job as well. It kind of keeps it going and keeps it very nice and crisp and clear as well. And as you can see, the helmet has also been done with good old Mephiston red in the eye sockets. And then moving over to the leather areas, for like the holster and the belt and everything like that, I'm using Mournfang Brown. Does a very, very nice job. It looks very, very good, and has a pretty cool use as well. Now, as you can tell, I have gone over the main body of the scabbard and the wax seals for the purity seals with Corn Red, and then over the bulk areas, Mephiston Red as well, and this makes it stand out even better. It makes it look very, very nice, crisp and clear, which is always good for your minis. Moving on to the tassels and the ropes that show his chain of command, you have Gorfor Brown being used here. Now, this picks out makes it a very different way of doing that kind of rope area. So the magazine does tell you to use reds, which you can do, and it looks very, very nice, but I wanted something that looks a bit more rope-like instead, and has a different kind of uniqueness to it. And then moving back to the blade of a sword, using good old Ethematic Blue over the body of the sword, and then you just bring it back with some like good old Stormhost Silver to bring a very nice sheen and shine to the sword, and just leave some of that blue just showing in between it to give it that energy plasma look to it as well. And then going over the the charge area for the plasma pistol that he's carrying, I'm using Calgar Blue. It's a very nice blue over Corax White. It sits very nicely, it sits quite light and has a bit of a unique look. And then for some edge highlighting, I used some Void Shield Blue, which is from good old Army Painter. Makes it stand out very nicely and makes it pretty cool. And then for the rest of the rope, as you can see, I've used Avalan Sunset as well. And that's generally it. It's a very nice model, it's a very cool model, I'm very, very happy with it, and I think it's done exactly what I needed it to do, which is look unique, look like he's going to lead an army, and go into battle, which is pretty damn cool, in my opinion. Now, this guy was really, really good. I have also painted up the Librarian in Phobos armour. Now, that guy was also really, really cool, and I did enjoy painting him, and he was a bit different as well. So, look out for that video. That video will be coming sometime soon. But for now, thank you very, very much for watching. If you want to see more paintings or anything like that, there is a whole section of them. If you want to show off what you've painted as well, I have a Discord server which you can join. You can share your photos. You can chat in there if you wish to chat in there. You do not have to. But yeah, it's always worth a blast. Check it out if you want to. But for now, thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.